Back when games were early developing, and when technology was still young, there were several restrictions to create what the creator had in mind. These restrictions were mainly the use of pixelated sprites and music limitations. If you compare the music and graphics of a game such as Castlevania with the music and graphics of an animation of the same year, say the Transformers movie, then you can see a vast difference between the two. Yet despite this, games from that era have become strong classics today, such as Sonic the Hedgehog, Super Mario Bros., Castlevania, and Mega Man, to name a few. However, there was one game that became a classic that didn't use sprites, yet had the quality of an animation of the age as well as impressive sound way back before any of these games were released. Thanks to ex-Disney animator Don Bluth, the animator of The Secret of Nim, Dragon's Lair was born in 1983. This featured comical animations of Dirk the Daring, a skilled yet clumsy and frightful knight fighting his way through Mordrok's castle to save Princess Daphne. This featured many weird and wonderful creatures and a very interesting environment of the imagination. There was just one small problem with it though: the gameplay. The game is so simple, you could use a DVD remote control to play through the entire game. In fact, even the game was released on DVD to do exactly that! It's an interactive game, based on one big animated cutscene where you control Dirk's actions and reflexes. Overall, this game is tedious, based off trial and error that has different routes, and the only way to get through it safely and see the ending for yourself is to play it again and again. And again. And again, until you get it right. One could say it's a memory game in essence, but the unique animations by Don Bluth for every single route is probably one of the reasons why it's such a classic. So when I was out looking for games to test on my PC, I found a game made in 2003 called Dragon's Lair 3D, Return to the Lair, which seems to be a sequel to Dragon's Lair. Looking through everything and comparing it to the first, this is more of a remake, since it holds levels from the original, and nowhere in the instructions or game does it suggest that Princess Daphne was kidnapped a second time. So I don't quite see why they have to put Return to the Lair after the title. I hate it when they do that. It reminds me of Rayman and the transition to Rayman 2. Anyway, this is Dragon's Lair 3D. The first thing that is really off is that the game has sound issues working with newer versions of Windows, and that the background music or cutscene music doesn't really work properly, if not at all. Yeah, this game was made for Windows 98, ME 2000 and XP, and I'm using Windows 7. I'm not sure why this happens. The background music on the GameCube and Xbox version works perfectly, so maybe it's just because this is an outdated game running on a modern computer. Sucks to be me. From what I can see on YouTube of other people playing this game, that the sounds and effects used in the cutscenes are pretty good. But for now, I'll just have to film myself with making my own dialogue. Take that air! Where did that fire come from? Oh fuck! Come here, sword, let's watch the bonfire. Isn't that wonderful? Wait, that's not a bonfire! Daphne, no! I'm so angry I'll just attack the air again. I'll climb up this dragon without it noticing and backstab it so it can all be over. Is that a nipple? Sudden change in plan! Okay, so it's clear that a dragon is kidnapping Princess Daphne, the evil wizard Mordrok is behind it, and Dirk goes to save her. The dragon Singe flicks them off and they get away. Dirk gets an amulet jewel thing and it displays the castle. After some very cheap text introductions, the game begins. So you're given a sort of level to get to grips with the controls. Daphne can communicate with you through the amulet, and often gives you hints and instructions so you can move forward. The default to jump is left alt, but pressing this just makes me show my desktop and makes the game become minimised, and it's annoying as heck. So I had to change the jump button to spacebar. Only the spacebar was the attack button, so I had to change the attack button to left control, and this made fighting very tricky and awkward. Just look what I have to do to defeat one enemy! After a while, I found out I could attack by left mouse click, and I could block by right mouse click, which made the combat system so much easier to manage. It's normally resolved by button mashing anyway, it's not a very sophisticated or advanced fighting system. I'm a little annoyed about the controls. I mean, they're very stiff and they don't help you get into the game until you've gotten used to them, which for me was quite a bit. The animations on the characters and enemies are really quite good for its time, as well as the environmental visuals. What I find really neat about this game though, is that it can handle a resolution of up to 1600 by 1200. I don't know how fancy that is for its time, but in my book it's rather impressive. The only thing I don't find too pleasant is that in the intro stage, the sky is just as pure fluorescent pink. It's very uneasy and really is quite scary. Although the lack of background music is annoying, due to compatibility issues, it actually feels like the original this way. and it surprisingly adds something to the atmosphere. So I guess it works either way. The game features the classic animation of when you die and respawn. Thankfully there are no lives, but your health doesn't replenish on death. This caused me a lot of issues the first time I played the game. I sucked at it so bad that I was on a sliver of health when I entered the castle. There the first enemy killed me several times in one hit, and it was essentially spawn camping me. Thankfully, this is balanced with lots of barrels that hold health orbs, which easily replenished my health once I stopped sucking so badly.
Well, looks like you're here for a while.
Who says that when they're kidnapped? The only reason I'm here is so that I can frickin' rescue you! Of course I'm gonna be here a while!
Treasure hunting? I'm in peril? And you're collecting gold?
Well, excuse me, princess. I'm gonna be fighting several monsters and overcome deadly obstacles without any food, rest, or sleep just to save you. I think I can afford to be a little selfish here. I wouldn't say her voice is annoying, because, to be honest, she can be quite helpful at times. She is much, much better than Navi of Ocarina of Time. The environment on the intro stage is also misleading. Oh, look, there's this big space over here. Oh, wait, no, nothing's here. Ooh, what's over here? Apparently nothing. Can I jump onto the sledge here? Nope. Despite this, I find that the environment is actually really nicely made, with a great surrounding and settings for a mystical castle filled with mythical beasts. The game also has a similar trial and error aspect as in the original, or at least at the beginning of the game. After a while, you get used to the style of the game and you seem to overcome the obstacles faster. And in a way, you kind of expect what new and wacky thing the game is going to throw at you anyway. Oh, here's something that makes the game a million times harder before I got used to the concept. In order to climb up anything, you must unsheath your sword. Often, I have my sword out for any enemies that might pop up, because I have to press the one button to get it out, and it's much easier just to keep the sword out in the first place. I often forget I have my sword unsheathed, and when I go to make a jump, I fail to jump and fall to my demise. I was wondering if I was doing anything wrong, and I was even stuck at the beginning of the second level because I couldn't jump over the sledge. I looked up a walkthrough because I couldn't do a Super Mario ground pound on the suspicious looking steam spot, and found out that my sword was unsheathed the entire time. I fell into this trap again later with some metal chains. Number one tip for this game: sheath your sword if you're not using it! There was also a lot of shaking in this game. When something makes the screen shake, it's pretty hard to know where you're going. Oh right, thanks for telling me how to roll at the very last moment. That's like going out to the front door, then just having your fingers on the handle there was a message saying that your door will explode if you open it.
Dirk, save me!
Apparently dragon hands can phase through solid doors. Yeah! Carrying the mana cell! Daphne, watch my back, will you? Now, I know I've listed a lot of cons for this game, but once you've played this game a bit and gotten used to its style and controls, it becomes a very enjoyable game. The levels do get more creative and fun as the game progresses, the challenges are more pleasing, and match the controls of the game. Even complements them, which is what a game should do. The boss battles are interesting and creative, and the secrets are very well hidden. Some are even placed in challenging spots, which, to be fair, some are more of an inconvenience than anything else. The sound effects are just wonderful. I mean, just listen to this when you complete a level. Music to my ears. The whole game just grows on you the more you play it. There are a lot of very nice visuals for its time. The enemies are creative, it has lovely recreations of the classical rooms from the original, and once you've gotten used to the controls, it's a very nice game to move around in. Although, using the mouse as a camera does have its flaws at times, generally being too slow, and the mouse sensitivity setting is really sensitive. In fact, I say I really like this game. It has a threshold you need to pass, but once you do, the game becomes so much better and it really can become its own classic. It is a gem lost in time. Since this is a remake of the original Dragon's Lair, I would have to say this is possibly one of the few remakes that I find amazing. It's easier than the original, much easier once you get used to everything, but this one uses skill in it. The original had that trial and error aspect. You had to know where to go or spend countless quarters trying to find the exact path to follow, which most of the time just required luck or patience. This game is worth a look into if you enjoy simple platforming, mild puzzles, and interesting visuals. However, it might be better to get the console version to experience the music that might lack in the PC version of modern computers. This has been my review and opinion on Dragon's Lair 3D Return to the Lair on PC. Thanks for watching all the way through. If you have anything that you want to say, a compliment or a complaint, then please post it in the comments. It's much appreciated.